Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to Your Take is Excrement. My name is still May Leitz, and regrettably, it's raining. Oh no! What are we going to do?
I am still Neo, and it is also raining where I am. That's right.
Great.
We're doing long distance.
I feel like it ruins the magic when you tell the people at home that we've done it long distance. We want people to be tricked into believing that we're in the same space,
Oh,
even though we're not.
ignore the magic of technology, and just go
Yes.
about the podcast as normal.
If you can do what I do and be blissfully ignorant of the possibilities of technology, I think that would make you a much healthier individual. And this isn't me speaking to you, that's me speaking to you at home. That's right. You too can avoid experiencing, internet woes simply by shutting off your computer. Now, about shutting off your computer. Today, we're sponsored by whom?
We're sponsored by Machine Age Productions. They have a short as part of the Nix Film Collective on Shudder up right now. We're also sponsored.
That sounds dirty and fun.
We're also sponsored by Ambient Dream Studio. It's an Etsy store.
Ooh, that sounds dangerous and trippy, like my pussy. I don't know. I thought it was a good joke. Come on.
Yeah, and we also have a Patreon, patreon.com/excrement.
That's right.
We have a Twitter.
It's for heathens just like you.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd self-ascribe to that, but just like
as a heathen,
as
someone's
a heathen.
been reading too much of the Bible.
Too much Desert Fathers, but that's beside the point.
Either way, yeah.
We also have a Twitter. It's at Your Take is X. I'm at Angstrom. May's at Nick Spheres. And
that's right.
Today we are doing Drive.
Now, where are we driving? Down to Wendy's to pick ourselves up some cute combo meal? What do you think?
Yes. I particularly like the chicken sandwich.
Is this the movie starring Ken from the new Barbie film?
Yes. Also, Duke Leto Atreides from Dune.
I'm sorry, did you just say Duke Leto Atreides?
Yeah.
From Dune?
Uh-huh.
What are you, some kind of weird fucking nerd?
Yes.
Are you a dork?
Oh
my god, bitch, is you a dork?
I am indeed a dork.
Okay. Well, we can tolerate that, I guess. So today we're talking about Drive. That's right. It's a movie about people who drive, including Bryan Cranston, who doesn't drive in the film but could, probably. He might have a license. I don't know. He might be old. Do they let olds have licenses in LA?
I presume so. I think the AARP has its iron grip over everyone.
Oh, the old people union, AARP?
Yeah, turns out they like unions when it keeps them on the road and a menace to society.
I've had many grandparents in my life. I don't know why. It's kind of strange, but I just keep getting them. But if there's one thing I've learned from having grandparents, it's that putting them behind the wheel of a car is like kind of not a great idea. They'll have a silver alert.
May the avid grandparent collector.
I'm a grandparent collector, but I also hate them desperately. Boomers are over. Party of three. So Drive is a film starring Ryan Gosling.
And Bryan Cranston.
Of Ryan Gosling. And we didn't even mention that Carey Mulligan is in this. I haven't even seen her in a film in a hot minute, and I love her. She's got that ear.
She's very good.
She's very good
in this film. There's also Ron Perlman coming in with the slurs the moment he shows up on camera.
Oh yeah, Ron Perlman.
And who's the other mob boss? Is he?
I can't remember his
notable?
name right now. He is, but I can't remember his name today. I'm sorry. Maybe tomorrow, if y'all come back to the podcast and go back to this section of the podcast, I will have remembered. But on this current listening for you at home, I don't remember.
It is Bernie Rose.
Bernie Rose. That's the character's name. What is the actor's name?
Oh, Albert Brooks.
That's what I was about to say. It's Albert Brooks.
I may or may not be drinking strawberry
Alcohol?
apple cider right now.
Alcohol?
Yeah.
Oh my God, are you under the influence? You
Uh,
can't be drinking and driving. That's
I
a sin.
I stopped driving and then started drinking.
You stopped driving and started. So you were drinking, and then you were like, no, 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 I must. Or you were driving, and then you were like, no, 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 I must stop, and then began drinking. And now
I
we're
also-
podcasting.
Yeah, well, I want to shout out Safeway for putting the frozen pizzas as an end cap to the alcohol. Real.
Oh wow, you
real-
got the depression special, the alcohol and the frozen pizza. Holy
well,
shit!
I'm doing it. I do it for my birthday. It was on the 13th. Yet.
Oh yeah, happy birthday!
Thank you. Another year closer to the grave.
Yeah, and look at all we have to show for it. So,
Hooray!
I mean, I love it personally. I think my parents are going to be deeply disappointed when they meet me in hell.
Okay. So
Drive is
Drive.
a film that a bunch of dudes really like. Okay, to quickly recap the season, we're talking about Sigma male movies, and to describe briefly what a Sigma male movie is it's like one of those movies that Channers really, really like because they reinforce their belief that women are gay and stupid and men control everything and should forever, and if we question them, they'll kill us.
So, on that real quick.
Yes.
Someone at my job just randomly decided one day that Andrew Tate is the funniest person on the planet.
I don't know who that is.
Think of who's the most misogynistic human being you can think of?
Me.
I
Get wrecked, me. No, that's a joke. I love the women in my life. You
anyway,
can't cancel me.
Andrew Tate is just the most misogynistic human being. Probably, he's in like the manosphere.
Worse than me, Jesus Christ.
Like I don't know. He does this thing where he has a podcast and he has like women there, but he gets them like ridiculously drunk, and then anytime they open their mouth, he screams at them, and if they disagree with him, he physically throws them off the podcast.
Wow, that only sounds ever so slightly worse than what we're doing here today.
So
anyway, what's your point about bringing up this?
My point about this
absolutely
scumbag
wonderful person
is he's in like the same group of jackasses who really
I
like
get it.
Drive and Joker, and
I get it. His favorite movie is Drive, and that's why we're here.
I honestly, Drive is probably too arty for this dumb motherfucker, but it's that same like that. I'm sure our audience will know who Andrew Tate is, and there's a huge overlap between a lot of the Channers who like Drive and Andrew Tate's primary fan base.
Well, see, I like to think that because I don't know who Andrew Tate is, that I have somehow won the internet because I have successfully avoided knowing about that. So, and that's not usual for me. You know, I pride myself on being one of those individuals that knows way too much about a lot.
Yeah.
And,
ye, our like normal arbiter of curse knowledge has been spared this once.
Well, yeah, I mean, luckily I get to remain innocent on this one, but unfortunately I do really like the movie Drive and have seen it many times, and I'm going to go to bat for this movie that I'm supposed to hate today on the podcast.
I too love Drive. So to explain real quick, to summarize, if you may, Drive. Drive is about Ryan Gosling, who is known as the driver.
It's Goosling, actually.
Ryan Goosling. There's a bunch of just geese in that scorpion jacket, and that's what makes up the entity. He drives for like criminals, to like as like an escape driver, kind of like
the
Baby
film
Driver.
Baby Driver, directed by Edgar Wright, the noted hack that stole that film from this film, as we've previously determined.
Yeah. So in his
That's
whole
a really
bit,
hot take you had there.
yeah.
Anyway, continue.
Is he gives them 5 minutes, and anyway, he has this whole like spiel where he's like, you have 5 minutes, 1 minute before, 1 minute after, I'm out, but in those 5 minutes,
You
I'm
have
yours.
the duration of this funk song for me to save you, or else I have to turn on a different song.
So
in my car stereo, which I hate doing.
He's also a stunt driver for Hollywood films.
See, that's where Baby Driver fucked up. If we would
So-
have had Baby be a stunt driver, I would have liked the movie, regardless of how many Kevin Spaceys were in it.
So as he's going about his life, he starts interacting with Carrie Mulligan, or Irene.
And by interacting, we mean sitting silently, saying nothing, and it being very strange.
Yeah, he's kind of, or he's fairly strongly mentally ill-coded.
Well, I would call it, okay, careful with this, but I would call it autism coded because I'm some of that, so I think they're trying to talk about me, right? He's good at driving, but he's terrible at socialization.
Yeah, so he just isn't it in the very specific way that many autistic people or some autistic people are. He has problems with social situations. Not problems, but he's just doesn't quite know what to do with himself. So he just starts hanging around her and kind of helping her out and her kid, and not really talking at all.
Just sort of being there. Yeah.
Just him as a character doesn't really talk very much.
It's weird because this is one of those situations where I would complain that he's very passive. I actually feel like that's one of the big Sigma male qualities in these movies, right? Is that they're always very passive protagonists that don't do an awful lot, but then they do something big, and it's usually violent.
Yeah, well, I think that's why like Sigma males like project themselves onto those characters.
Well, yeah, because they too deeply wish to do deep, horrible violence.
Well, and are just incredibly
but they
passive.
But they can't stop doing nothing.
Yeah. So
what they want to do is violence. What they must do is nothing.
So over the course of him hanging out and kind of being a surrogate father to Irene's son,
as much as a silent, weird, looming force can be a father figure, yes, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty fair. My father was kind of a silent, lingering, looming force.
So he eventually we find out that the kid's father and Irene's husband, Oscar Isaac, is coming home from jail. So he he gets home. There's obviously some problems with the driver because Oscar Isaac is very possessive of his family. Until one day, Oscar Isaac gets the absolute shit kicked out of him, and the people who did it handed a bullet to the son, kind of as a threatening his family. The driver finds out that Oscar Isaac is deep in debt to some unruly types, and to protect Irene and the child, Ryan Gosling goes to help Oscar Isaac. Ryan Gosling goes to help Oscar Isaac. The heist goes horribly wrong. Oscar Isaac dies in the heist, and Ryan Gosling ends up with like $2 million that the people who
he doesn't really want.
He does not want, and he then spends the rest of the movie trying to give it back
to Ron, getting fucked over for it,
to Ron Perlman and Albert Brooks, and he's trying to do it as painlessly as possible, and they just only fuck him up. So
they're like, who is this guy? We gotta kill this bastard. He's gonna fuck us. And they're like, and the driver's like, no, I just want to give you your money back. I'm severely autistic. I don't know. I just do what I'm told. I don't know what's going on. Can you help? And then they're like, this guy's gonna fuck us.
Yeah. So he keeps on being like, literally, give me a time and a place, and you'll get your money back. And they keep on sending hitmen after him.
See, this is a film about how people deeply distrust the neurodivergent.
I guess so. Well, so there's also a subplot where the two crime lords are in business with Bryan Cranston and the driver to do race cars, and so there's also this element of they're all destroying each other and their dreams. Uh,
Oh, right.
as
Well,
they fight over the money that Ryan Gosling does not want.
yeah. Well, so like, is the movie over? Have we? Well, let's finish her out, and then I'll
Yeah.
start talking
So,
about the mindless bullshit I know about.
Anyway, so Ryan Gosling then is like, all right, well, if like y'all have pushed this too far. Well, so there's a scene where he's in an elevator with Irene, and there's a hitman in the elevator too. So there's
My
this,
favorite scene in much of cinema, I must admit. It's a very good scene.
It's a very good scene. So he like makes out with Irene and then turns around and viciously goes overboard on this assassin to the point where he's like unconscious, and Ryan Gosling is just curb stomping him in the elevator. As Irene like backs away in horror at Gosling. Anyway, so then just
so real quick before you move on, I want to put a pin in this because if I forget, I'm gonna kill myself. So there's a thing in that scene, the elevator scene, that's very important. I need to talk about it in a moment, but I can't do it right now.
All
Continue.
Right. We'll pull this pin out the moment I get to the end of the movie. So
Please
Ryan Gosling
like a grenade
goes on a killing spree. He kills Ron Perlman in a like Halloween-esque mask.
Yeah.
And another spectacular scene.
A very good scene, yeah.
Then Albert Brooks kills Bryan Cranston. Then Ryan Gosling makes a deal with Albert Brooks that if Albert, I'm just gonna use Bernie in the movie. If Bernie leaves Irene and her kid alone, then Ryan Gosling will give Bernie the money. And then Bernie's like, "Hey, just warning you, you're going to spend the rest of your life looking behind your back. Like it's like the family's safe. You're gonna die someday by us." And so as they're handing off the money, Bernie decides that time is now. Stabs Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling turns around, reveals that he has a knife ready of his own, and kills Bernie. So then Ryan Gosling gets into his car, just sits there waiting to die. He then does not die, and so is forced to drive away. And Irene goes to his now empty flat, and the movie's over. Pulling the pin,
really
grenade out.
So, okay, before we do that, the thing I must say is that really when it comes down to it, this film is about a real human being and a real hero and a real human being and a real hero and a real human being, but also a real hero.
Very heroic. The Scorpion
and also
Man.
a real human being. Okay, so here's the deal. That scene in the elevator, somebody described to me why the movie was bad. And this was in film school, okay? So this was in a professional setting, all right? With a professional. A professional told me this. Now, understand that this professional also did not like Mad Max Fury Road. So understand that this professional might have just been a fool. But before I continue, you must know, this was in a professional setting, therefore it somehow magically counts more. The boy, the man, the lad, he said to me that the reason why the elevator scene in Drive is bad, or at least the reason that the movie is bad, is because of an excess that Nicolas Winding Refn seems so obsessed with that he cannot turn it off even when the movie needs him to do it. So the elevator scene, on a thematic level and on a poetic sense is fairly obvious. It's a scene about the male propensity for violence and how that generally terrifies women.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what their relationship is, no matter how much she trusts him, no matter what the deal is, she sees him turn around and stomp a guy's brains out of his head. This changes her opinion on him.
Right.
She no longer wants to fuck him. I don't know why, but I mean, he is Ken from Barbie, so I don't see the problem. But I mean, surely Ken is capable of violence. But the reason it was supposedly bad was because of a a mitigation between sound design and picture. The boy, Nicolas Winding Refn, knows a thing or two about both visual stylings and making choices regarding like audio mixing being good. So the reason that scene is very, very successful on a form level, right, is because we're hearing stomp, 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 squash, right? Like, we listen to that dude's head erupt like a watermelon. But the problem is that right before the scene ends, Nicolas Winding Refn has to just cut to a scene or cut to a shot of that dude's head just being all explodey.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the pace of it is correct. The emphasis is on all the right things. Thematically, it is very significant. I would say it's very good. But the thing that I was told as to why the scene is bad is because Nicolas Winding Refn, while being a very, very good formalist, somehow made like a decision where he couldn't put his excess away and had to also show us the dude's head exploding. Now, I know most of you out there are saying, but I really enjoy it when I see someone's head explode. I agree with you. I also do, which is why, you know, on its face, I kind of think that the professor who told me that was maybe full of shit. But I kind of also agree. It's the problem with the movie. We're going to get into that, but I thought that this was a decent way, this hand grenade here, would be a decent way for us to get into talking about Nicolas Winding Refn. Do you know anything about him?
I do not.
Nothing?
Unfortunately not.
This surprised me. This surprises me greatly because he's kind of a thing, or at least he was for a while. He's very significant. In the same way that I would say Edgar Wright was like significant in that way, a lot of people were talking about Nicolas Winding Refn back in the day as being the boy, you know, the cinema boy. Like, you know how Edgar Wright, everybody was like, oh yeah, he's the movie boy. He does the movies. Everybody loves them.
Oh,
that was how people treated Nicolas Winding Refn after this came out.
he did Bronson.
He did.
Okay. Well, I say Bronson.
Bronson was a lot closer to an indie film than this was, just on budget, talent. I mean, understand that Tom Hardy, when they made Bronson, was not quite Tom Hardy, you know what I mean? He was a little bit closer to those MySpace photos where he's got his hands down his pants. Have you seen those pictures? They're really good.
No, let me...
Tom Hardy 100% took some tasteful nudes for MySpace decades ago, and they are amazing, as one would expect.
It's only showing me pictures from him in movies. Let me continue my Google search as you talk.
Okay, you do that. I'll talk. Yeah. So Nicolas Winding Refn quickly after Drive came out had this blooming mega success. He was an indie film director from Denmark, and like him becoming the Drive guy was not really his mentality. Like, that wasn't really what he wanted. So he caught a little George Lucas in there and was like, damn, I got to make my movie. I got to make the one where I say what I want to say and nobody has any interference. So he naturally did what anybody would do in this situation. He became best friends with Alejandro Jodorowsky, the director of The Holy Mountain, and then hung out with him constantly. And then Jodorowsky read his tarot and specifically said, you're going to make a movie. It is not going to be a movie that is well liked, but you will feel great about having done it because it will make you a man or some bullshit. So the movie that Nicky, we're going to call him Nicky now. The movie that Nicky made was Only God Forgives, which is like one of the most polarizing films I think anyone has ever seen. Like it's almost a meme how polarized, like how, I don't know. I don't know many people right now who are out there going to bat for Only God Forgives. Now, I do know a few. I have a friend named Ellie who stands the shit out of Only God Forgives. There was a time in my life where I thought it was kind of neat, but that time has passed. I'm not in love with that movie. However, because of the absolute like ego death that Nicky had to experience from having every American and foreign critic say his movie was a massive piece of shit, made him go, geez, I should make a movie that people like. And then he went, never mind. And he made The Neon Demon. Which, have you seen that?
I have not seen The Neon Demon.
As soon as we're done, you have to turn that on, okay?
Okay.
Just for funsies, just for your own personal enjoyment. So The Neon Demon is about the fashion industry in LA, and basically it's just like the story about womanhood and fame. But basically, Elle Fanning, is beautiful in a natural way, but everyone in LA is beautiful in a fake way. So her natural beauty gets her massive success very, very quickly, but her beauty also gets her in trouble. So when I say in trouble, I mean some people really want to kill and eat her.
That is my tendency when I see a beautiful person too.
That's terrifying. That's you just unhinge your jaw and just like sort of nom on them, or what's the deal?
Oh yeah.
Is it the lesbian urge to bite? Is that it?
I'm just like a boa constrictor. I just
a boa constrictor.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that must be terrifying for just anyone.
Everyone around me.
Well, especially you. I'm sure that every time you unhinge your jaw to finish them off, you're like, "Oh, geez, this is a bit much."
I do profusely apologize through an unhinged jaw.
You're like, "Listen, I'm sorry that you have to become poop." Is that what you say? Anyway, it's fine. So The Neon Demon is surprisingly great, but that's because I saw it years ago and I haven't updated my opinions on it. But I did really like it when it came out. I actually thought that it was Nicolas Winding Refn's masterpiece. And then he did a TV show for Amazon and quickly disappeared. Like everybody seems to do. They do a movie for Amazon, and then they're found in the trunk of a car in Vegas. So, like, I don't know if Nicolas Winding Refn is still with us. He might be in a trunk of a car in Vegas, but I'd like to think that he is, and he's working on his next absolute hell piece of nightmare for me to watch. But I haven't seen it yet. Because he has not said words about it. But
speaking of too old to die young, Miles Teller disturbs me.
Miles Teller also disturbs me, and I can tell you why. It's because Whiplash is also a Sigma male movie, and for whatever reason, nobody's brought it up for us to watch yet. Also, he was in Fantastic Four, and he looks like a serial killer. Miles Teller looks like he would hide bodies in the walls, and when people complained about the smell, he would say, "What smell?" That's Miles. That's the Miles Teller I know and love.
He would say it like through the chain in the door. Is it like opens a crack?
He'd be like,
"What smell?"
He'd be like,
"There's no big deal. Nothing's in here."
That's what Miles Teller would sounds like. Too Good to Die, or whatever the fuck it's called, is it's like cop criticism. I believe I watched 2 episodes of it, and I found it to be underwhelming, dull, and boring. Which I know is crude and cruel words for someone to say about someone else's art. But also, he's a millionaire. So it's fine to say these things. It was on Amazon, and Amazon, as you know, is a shit-tier website. This is why every time somebody makes fun of my book and says that it's stupid, I'm like, I agree. It's sold on Amazon, and everything on Amazon is bad. So no judgment. I get it. So speaking of bad movies, Drive is the movie we're talking about today, but we had to take this big long walk to talk about it. But Nicolas Winding Refn is a lot of weird things compared to like an Edgar Wright, right? Like Edgar Wright's whole thing, I'm really relatable. Everybody likes my movies. I'm such a funny guy. Nicolas Winding Refn is like, I'm different. Nobody understand me. Which is very similar to how Lars von Trier is, only I don't believe at any point Nicolas Winding Refn has been a self-proclaimed Nazi, although Lars von Trier has.
I didn't know that. I was thinking about Dancer in the Dark today.
Whoa. Have you not seen the video of that happening?
No. I will.
I will. To very briefly describe it for those of you at home, what happens is it is at the Cannes Film Festival. I believe he's sitting next to Naomi Watts, but I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's Naomi Watts. And he says, I used to think that I was a Jew. Which is not I mean, it's a fairly crude way of putting that. But he's like, yeah, I used to view myself more as a Jew that was misunderstood and oppressed. But now I'm realizing more and more that I am a Nazi, and I am the oppressor.
Okay, so I pulled up the actual quote.
Did you?
It's unhinged.
Let's hear it. Can you read it to me?
Yes.
Please?
For a long time, I thought I was a Jew, and I was happy to be a Jew. Then I met Suzanne Bier, and I wasn't so happy. But then I found out I was actually a Nazi. My family were German, and that also gave me some pleasure. What can I say? I understand Hitler. I sympathize with him a bit. I don't mean I'm in favor of World War II, and I'm not against Jews, not even Suzanne
Oh boy,
Bier.
this is the worst thing anyone's ever said. What the shit?
In fact, I'm very much in favor of them. All Jews. Well, Israel's a pain in the ass.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Now, how do I get
god.
out of this sentence? Okay, I'm a Nazi.
How do I get out of this sentence? Well, does anybody have a gun? That would be my first. If I had said that, I would immediately be like, geez, Rick, do you have a pistol for me? The only way out of this is if I just go ahead and end it.
Oh,
like,
shit. Oh.
My dude. What?
Asked if you would like to do a film on a larger scale. Answered, yes, we Nazis like to do things on a big scale. Maybe I should do The Final Solution. I hate him.
I don't want to host this show no more. As I sit here hearing this, I go, Jesus Christ, why are we talking about movie people? They're fucking Nazis.
Yeah, okay, so I'm sorry.
That was quite the distraction. See, this is not about Lars von Trier, but it is definitely about...
On that distraction, it's...
But we haven't even started talking about the movie. Well, all right, that's fine. Go ahead.
This might
do the ad.
Unintentionally turn it into a two-parter. We'll see.
I sure hope not.
All right, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Machine Age Productions. They have a short film out on
the Nick's Horror Festival for Shudder.
It's called 9. It comes out August 13th, if I am correct. So on August 13th, everyone go to Shudder, which I know all of you are subscribed to.
Hey, wait! I have a great idea. Real quick before we continue this ad read, which we were paid to do. I'm thinking it would be very funny if we tried to guess what the movie's about. Think about it. Okay, so the movie's called 9,
yes.
Right? So clearly it's about a cat with 9 lives. But no, it's not about a cat. It's about a person who has 9 lives. And each one of those lives is somehow destroyed by an e-girl.
By their crippling addiction to Bella Delphi.
Yes, they can't get over their addiction to Belle Delphine's feet, so they're like, "Damn, dude, there goes all 9 of them." Wow. Hey, Philomena, did I get it right? Hey, Olivia, how close am I?
My guess is, as they also made hashtag iHunt, I think it is going to be a council of 9 different monsters.
Monster hunters.
I was gonna say
monsters
that get hunted one by one by a monster
Oh,
hunter.
so it's kind of a meeting of the minds. So they sort of grab our boy Mothman and Bigfoot,
Yeah.
and like the Flatwoods monster, and they all get together as a sort of like cryptid gang, and they're like, what do we do about all these annoying podcasters who come to the West Virginia woods, and they meet like a bunch of weird people who live in the woods, and they're like, damn, dude, we gotta catch Bigfoot, and Bigfoot's like, you're not gonna catch me.
Oh no, I
Bigfoot.
stepped in a bear trap.
Oh God! And it wasn't for a bear; it was for people. Oh no! I found a cannibal family. That's a terrible thing to happen in West Virginia. Anyway, so this is what the movie's about, clearly. So you got to see it.
Yeah.
Also, what's the
Ambient Dream Studios. It's an Etsy store.
right?
It's psychedelic merch, posters, clothes, more posters. Decorate that wall. Fill that wall up with psychedelic imagery. And if you're like me, wake up hallucinating at 3 in the morning and be terrified by your room.
Ooh. Hey, you know what? Ambient Dreams. If Ambient Dream Studio is listening, which I hope they are, you know what y'all should make? Y'all should make acid sheets, right? Listen, you don't have to put the drug on there. You just need to give me the paper. I'm a chemist. I'm an amateur chemist. Do you have any sheets of paper for me? No, I really do like their art, but I would like to put it on my tongue.
I'm envisioning you, but it's the get up from H Bomber Guy's vaccine video.
Oh Lord! Oh, like Reanimator? Yeah, I'd be fairly decent at amateur human reanimation. Although I would be very disturbed if I saw a human body eat out a woman's vagina, which does happen in that movie.
A
severed head, by the way.
On that note, go to page.
The body holding the severed head, holds it in place for the head. It's it's good. It's real good.
All right.
I like it.
Go to patreon.com/excrement. Throw me some money if you want. If you don't want to, that's all right too.
You can throw us some money. You can throw some money on us, at us. You can even put it in my little underwear.
You can put it in a t-shirt cannon and shoot it through a window.
Ooh, break our window and make us pay for it. I'm gonna build a wall and make Mexico pay for it. I'm gonna shoot money into your window with a t-shirt cannon and then make you pay for the window. It's a oxymoron, you see. All right. Is that all?
Yeah.
Oh wait. I wrote a book. Oh. It's dirty. It's nasty. It stinks. It smells real bad. And each copy comes with a dead rat. That's right. I will, for a limited time, be shipping you a dead rat inside every purchase. That's right. So if you can get on down to, that's right, nickspheres.bandcamp.com/merch, pick up a book, I will mail you a dead rat. And for a limited time only, I will also be signing the dead rat.
We call that the Jared Leto.
We call that the Jared Leto special. That's right. Dr. Michael Morbius, noted vampire murderer. You know, it happens every episode that we have to talk about Dr. Michael Morbius, vampire murderer. But before, I think that's a good place to end the ad read before something worse happens.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
So
I'm not really good with the whole being professional on a digital space thing. I don't do well talking unfiltered. I start suggesting that people make acid sheets with my face on it and shit.
It's listen, there's no scientific benefit to being anyway.
I just got a fantastic idea. I make acid sheets with my face on it. Okay. Jokes are funny, but Drive is not funny. It's very serious. So we got to talk about boys. Why do boys like this shit?
So I think that Drive has this problem where it is one of the stronger critiques of the Sigma male archetype in my opinion.
Well, I find this to be very odd because this movie does what I'm going to call a not all men. Now it does a all men, but it also does a not all men, and I think most people choose to listen to the not all men part and not the all men part. Now, this is not me trying to stereotype or generalize every single man, even though they are identical. I am actually trying to say that stereotypes are bad, actually, but you would have to interpret my words, a thing I know Sigma males have a hard time doing.
As
so,
evidenced by their love for movies that don't really like them.
Yeah. Well, so the reason I say this movie doesn't not all men is because, okay, they have Ryan Gosling wear that Vin Diesel mask for like half the movie while he's doing a Halloween, like a Michael Myers.
Yeah.
He's also the escaped psycho. You know, it's like very much a trope, like Halloween. He's kind of they play it off like he's like a masked slasher. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he's on the loose.
But it's Vin Diesel as the masked slasher, right? So the idea is that this violence, hides inside these like images of masculinity. And so I think that that's more what the movie is talking about. The movie's talking about the masculine expectation to do violence, but also the expectation that some of us look like they're violent and some of us don't. There's this one scene in the movie where the driver, which they decided not to name because it's spicier that way, Fight Club, the reason that they didn't anyway, this scene, the driver says to the child while they're watching television, how do you know that guy's the bad guy? And the kid's like, well, because he looks like the bad guy.
And
it's very like, well, appearances.
Right.
He appears to be a good dude. And so I think the movie is trying to fuck with our ideas of like, okay, Ryan Gosling is a very hot man who's very attractive. Surely he couldn't also, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's fucking with this image of like, well, we expect violence from people that look like Vin Diesel, but we don't expect violence from people that look like Ryan Gosling. And so the movie really does try and unfortunately fail amongst many people to say that like there's a difference, but there's also not a difference. A lot of our differences come down to like who we expect violence to come from. And so like this is why I say the film is very good, because it is real good in the sense that no other movie really talks about the way we judge things judge men specifically based on their appearance and like just someone that we appropriately would view as being someone we're cool with being violent, like a Vin Diesel, is perhaps hiding a lonely autistic person,
right,
inside of their mask. And so there's a unifying thing, right, where it's to say that anybody with a propensity for violence is experiencing things very similarly, but there's this appearance difference that makes things tolerable.
Right.
And so with that, I feel like the movie is trying desperately to criticize the very thing that people appreciate about it.
Yeah, well, and so to
continue.
So to answer your question, I think that, in my opinion, part of the reason that a lot of Sigma dudes like this movie is because, for whatever reason, they also have poor social skills, and
literally me. I buy the Scorpion jacket because I, you see, am a violent criminal.
Yeah, and they have this anger in them that they wish could like express as violence, as just violence, and
Yes.
that women don't understand them because women don't understand the nature of men.
Yeah.
And
Well, there's
which is, I mean, and I'm saying it's a bad interpretation of the film,
I agree with you.
but
but damn,
but damn, what a way to
that
misunderstand
hurts.
the film.
Ouchie. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm fairly used to people having pretty shit tier like takes on movies like this, but the Scorpion Jacket one is very funny, right? we can agree that the Scorpion Jacket one is the funny. The thing is, okay, Fight Club I feel like is the symbol of like, ah boy, watch out. If your boy is a fan of Fight Club, you might want to call a hotel.
Right.
If your boy loves A Clockwork Orange uncritically, he might just be kind of into rape, which is not good. Don't like that. We shouldn't celebrate that. So, like, it's bizarre to say something like, I don't feel like the audience of this understands it, and I feel like I constantly am presenting, I'm going to call it fairly anecdotal evidence that this is a thing, but I will say that the Scorpion Jacket makes this very easy for me because it is a symbol representing literally the phenomenon that I am talking about.
Right.
The Scorpion Jacket, while a very cool jacket of a scorpion, guys, is actually like in the movie as a symbol for the like propensity for violence. It's the frog and the scorpion, right?
Yeah.
That's what's being referenced. So the frog and the scorpion thing, I've told it to a million people right as I've broken up with them. The bit is this. There is a frog. The frog is partying and is like, I'm going over there. And then the scorpion's like, hello, I see that you are going to cross the river over there. What if I joined you? And then the frog naturally goes, I think that's a bad idea because you're a scorpion. You'll kill me or you'll bite me halfway through this shit, and then we're both going to die. And if we both die, then it will be your fault. So I shouldn't trust you based inherently on what you are, the content of your being. And so they get across about halfway across the place, and the scorpion bites the frog. The frog goes, no, you killed me. Why did you do that? And as they're drowning, killing both the scorpion and the frog, the scorpion goes, it is simply in my nature to do so.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a scorpion, and scorpions sting. And so the Scorpion Jacket is a physical manifestation of literally this. It's like he is a scorpion.
Right.
And like Carey Mulligan, I feel, is largely a frog in this situation, right? It's not any of the other people. And so, like, the person really burned in this movie is Carey Mulligan.
Mm-hmm.
The person that really suffers is her, because, like, she pretty much, she hangs out with a guy with a scorpion jacket and at no point associates the fact that he's going to stomp a dude to death in an elevator.
Right.
She just can't see that that's possible, even though he literally wears it on his body. So then the question becomes, when you go on Etsy and you buy yourself a scorpion jacket and go, God damn, I'm cool, are you doing that because you want to tell women that you are going to kill a bunch of people?
Right.
Or are you getting it because it's got a cool scorpion on the back?
Well, and I think what I like about the metaphor in the movie is he doesn't. So he, like, because he's the one who's like, he calls someone and he's like, have you ever heard the metaphor of the scorpion and the frog? And they're like, the fuck are you talking about? And he like hangs up.
Yeah, well, because the other weird thing about Nicolas Winding Refn is he can't seem to stop dead ass just like verbatim saying the thing he means.
Right. So, but and so I don't think that the driver realizes that his nature includes stinging Irene. Like he sees himself as stinging like the people
Guys who deserve
it. But what he doesn't realize is that no, he just stings everyone.
Well, and it's non-intent based. It's like he can view himself as some sort of real human being, real hero, but the reality is he scares everyone off because he's incredibly scary. He's a violent, scary guy, and he's an incel.
Right. And so like the end of the movie is him realizing I need to shed my nature. I have come to the natural conclusion of the scorpion. I have a gut wound and I am waiting to die. Maybe this isn't the right narrative.
Well, and like the truth of it is like, being a scorpion in any propensity, like is going to bring that out of your nature or whatever, right? Like it's arguing an inherentness, which is kind of, I don't know. It's very bold. I feel to be so blunt about the fact that that's what it's trying to communicate, and yet, like I've known tens of people who have bought that fucking scorpion jacket.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like one of my favorite green posts of all time. Okay, so it's like a pair of them. One is someone talking about how they buy the jacket and act like the driver, and like people like start liking them, and then there's another making fun of that person about buying the jacket and being a silent creep, and like and everybody running away from them in their life.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You buy the jacket, and then the next thing that happens is your girlfriend leaves you. Which is a great idea, by the way. If your boy buys that scorpion jacket, you should call a different boy out. You know what I mean? Call him over, see what's up. Mostly for protection, let's be real. So Drive is weird because it's a movie that on a mise-en-scène level I deeply appreciate. I actually like how violent it is because I'm a psychopath.
Well,
but the people criticize this. Continue.
I was just gonna say, like, I feel like the beauty of the violence in Drive though is there's not a lot of it. It's like whenever it does happen, it's so over the top and so much more than you were expecting. I feel like it complements the movie well. But anyway, I'm sorry.
I deeply feel like the hotel scene in that movie where basically the driver's like, surprise, I'm gonna blow everyone away. And it happens in like slow motion, yet it also happens really fast. I think that scene is actually deeply effective in its communication of violence. Like, we see the driver in his scorpion jacket hold a woman down and beat her in the face and demand answers. And everyone continues to stan him.
With no hesitation, too. Like, he just...
Oh, no big deal. That character walks in the bathroom and gets her head blown off. I don't remember her name. It's fine.
He just puts the gloves on and starts punching her in the face while he holds her down.
Yeah, he does in fact do that. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this movie that's kind of like, whoa, I don't know about that.
He's just like, well, I'm a scorpion. This is gonna suck for you.
Well, and like on a Nicolas Winding Refn level, which is the level that no one is willing to acknowledge, on a Nicolas Winding Refn level, I think this is a smart choice he's making. I know that might be shocking to some of you. But no. Like, I feel like the movie actually handles the driver's proclivities towards violence, and also not just violence, but cold, calculated, very psychopathic violence. And then, like, ironically, I feel, smacks us with this real human being, real hero bullshit as an irony. It's a joke. I feel like it's a joke. The people don't agree with me, probably, because everybody goes, that song slaps, though. And listen, it does. But a song slappage, if you will, let's call that the measure for this. We measure this in slappage. While the song doth slappage, or doth possess slappage, that does not mean that it is not making fun of the driver at the end of the movie. I feel deeply that it is they show it to us at different intervals of the movie, the song. Like, we get hit with the song very early on.
Mm-hmm.
We get hit with the song when he's with Irene. And then we get, and they're just like driving around, having fun, smiling, maxing, relaxing, all cool, playing a little b-ball outside the school. And then they show it to us again at the end of the movie after we've watched him put leather gloves on and beat a woman, murder several people constantly, and also kill a woman in front of his girlfriend. I'm sorry, kill a man in front of his girlfriend. Gender's hard. So, like, I feel like what heroicism was done? What was the heroicism?
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's a real hero and a real human being. Well, what is the qualifications for somebody to be a human being? Because the entire movie is telling us that he's a scorpion and not a human being. So, and also the movie's constantly making Michael Myers references, like in his like sort of steez, which I feel is them trying to do the whole Dr. Loomis is, he's not an actual man, he's evil, like that thing.
Mm-hmm.
But they, like, I feel like this is just on its face. Like, it's playing with these social tropes and also what those things make us think of. You know, in a large part, I feel like there are elements of, like, Ryan Gosling covering his face when he does the kills, not to hide his identity. That's the thing. He's not trying to hide his identity. Who's he protecting? You know, Irene, like, they're not connected in any sort of way. Like, if anything, Irene is in trouble because of her fucking ex-husband, who's now dead. Like, and also, he's dead. Why would they give a fuck?
Right.
Like, why would they go after her? Why would they go after her? Like, he's dead already. So anyway,
Right.
like, my point is, the driver is a not good dude, and he causes a lot of the problems. And his passivity causes a lot of the problems. His inability to, like, get his shit together, one would call it the curse of empathy. Like, he can't stop being like, oh man, this guy needs help, I better help him out. So much so that he has to kill a lot of people. And see, that is the like weird ironic bent of the movie that I don't even know where I stand on or how I can even get behind it, but yeah, it's the heroism is basically being a fuck up, acting all tough about it, driving around, not talking to anyone, making no serious changes in anyone's life other than the negative, having so much empathy that you end up literally fucking up a whole family. And also, like, more than anything, it's the weird white person Karen urge to not stay the fuck out of it.
Right.
Like, genuinely, he's like, well, I gotta get in here. I gotta get involved. You know, clearly this situation, this bad one, needs me, a violent criminal. Like, and he feels, I feel, that he must rise to this violence as to be a hero. And that's, I feel like, where one could make the comparison to, like, the Vin Diesel mask, right? Because the Vin Diesel mask is heroism in the American modern sense. It's guy can't stay out of, like, a guy goes, "This is wrong. I gotta get involved," and then he kills a lot of people and is viewed as a hero. That is like the American action movie standard, very largely. So while I feel like Nicolas Winding Refn is kind of the only filmmaker that could have made Drive with this level of like, I'm going to call it Euro awareness of American proclivities, I also believe that the movie like is in its own way. Maybe does that make any sense?
That does, and I do want to say I think you have a significantly better take on the real human being, real hero than I do.
Well, what the fuck is your take? Tell me.
I told you my take, and I thought
tell it to me again.
My take was that
repeat it.
My take was that at the end of the movie, it's signifying his need to become those things and to change his nature. And so my take was the ending of the movie was him realizing that he needed to change his nature, and because because there's the progression of he did the thing, he cleared the family, he got stabbed, and then he didn't die, and he's like, what the fuck, why haven't I died?
I was supposed to die.
So
there's something, right, where there's some sort of belief that heroism only exists in martyrdom, which is very much a Judeo-Christian belief, which has influenced American culture so much so that we bomb brown people over it. A lot, turns out. But also, like, while you were talking, there was a thought I had, but now I'm trying to make it occur to me again. But like, do you feel okay? So your take on all this is that okay? I got it. Have you noticed that all of these movies have one very distinct thing in common? And maybe this is my perspective on it. Maybe it's not exactly like this, but my perspective on it is that, like, these movies are all about rejecting change. These are all about dudes who are fine, actually.
Right.
These are all stories about guys that are fine. They're just in bad situations. And if they could just get themselves out of those situations, they could protect a girl.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, so I do feel like the movie rejects change. But I feel like rejecting change in this sense is ironic. Because, like, yeah, he's a scorpion. So he's going to go to another situation and continue to be a scorpion and continue to get into these violent circumstances because he's like, shit, well, I am a hero and a human being. I got to get my shit involved in here and start stabbing people like Michael Myers.
Right.
The masculine urge to start stabbing people like Michael Myers.
Mm-hmm.
Real human being here. And a real hero. I don't know. I feel deeply like this is ironic. I don't know.
No, I don't know. I do still feel like your interpretation of the movie or of that is better. But
either way, I think we can agree that there is this element of rejecting
right.
change.
No, I absolutely do agree. And
yeah. But that's ultimately what high fidelity is about, right? But this is a Sigma thing. This is what we've learned. The lesson of the day, right, is this. Like, so high fidelity, right? It tricks you into thinking it's about changing, like the guy changing. But actually, it's a secret rejection of change where homie never changes. Mm-hmm. It's actually trying to reinforce all of his beliefs and back them up with different information so that, like, he feels like justified in believing that.
Don't get me started on that one again.
Well, I'm not going to, but my point is that I think that Drive has made explicit to me this thing of how all of these movies are ultimately about dudes who dude and are like, yo, I'm perfect and there's nothing wrong with me, but I could be better at being perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, it's that narcissistic self-deprecation thing right? They simultaneously view themselves as the main character who's a hero and who can do nothing wrong, but also they're a worthless bag of shit. They're a scorpion. They're evil. They have the proclivity to violence. But the real problem is that people don't accept them for this.
Right.
And so the weird thing about Drive is that the movie is openly criticizing and mocking the narcissistic, self-deprecating incel who murders. But also, because it is so very, very good, like a lot of boys be like, this isn't ironic. This is telling me that I should also be a weird, violent person,
Right.
and never tell anyone that I have and tell everyone that I am the main character all the time, and all of this revolves around me.
And maybe if I act like this long enough,
Someone will come along and so is the villain of the movie the driver, or is it Irene?
I think it's.
I feel.
I think. I don't know. I think it's the driver.
Well, it's not
No,
Irene, but I mean,
no.
like to a certain subsect of people, they would be like, oh yeah, like she's her lifestyle asking too much, like women's problems asking way too much of men and shit like that is clearly the thing that is causing
I think that
man's problems.
That is the most egregiously wrong take about this movie that anyone could possibly have. More so than any of the other bad takes we've discussed. Like, blaming Irene for being horrified at the violence is like the most frustratingly dumb take I have ever seen.
Well, I have heard a take once that in film school, ironically, because okay, listen, when I was in film school, they let just anybody make a video essay about anything. So I watched some dumbass video essays, okay? And one of those absolutely putridly dumb-ass fucking essays I read was about how the secret villain of Drive was Irene, because Irene is a representative for all women, and all women are very passive, and men must come in and solve their problems for them. And that means being violent and then rejecting the person who's violent, even though that person was protecting her.
That is the dumbest take I've ever heard. But
I if I could, I would burn that take onto a floppy disk and throw it in the fucking ocean.
That
is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I think what's interesting about this movie is that there's no one real villain. It's just six people. It's six people who are all passive and like locked into a collision course. And there's
they're just circumstantially
there's even a line in it where one of the mobsters is like, there are 2,000 fucking heists in this city a year, and our boy has to be on the one that puts him at odds with us.
That goes like this.
Yeah. So like,
well,
and so it's like the gangsters. I think Ron Perlman's character is just like a psychopath asshole. So, but like the characters who aren't psychopath assholes, like they're all like, damn, this really sucks that we all got put on this path.
Well, and every character in the movie is bitching about their where their life ended. Right. So like, Ron Perlman is like, yeah, I had to borrow a bunch of money from the gang to start my Italian food business, but now they still treat me like I'm a kid. They treat me like I'm an idiot. But like, this is just what I had to do. And then like Bernie is like, yeah, I made some action films in the 80s. They were shitty. But people called them European, so I thought they were
I thought he was just talking about I thought he was making porn. I don't know why I thought that, but
I think he was making action films, but either way, like the point is just that he gave up on his dreams to die in a parking lot. And then
over $1 million.
Bryan Cranston's character, right, is like treated like he's a bumbling fool who doesn't understand how in with the mob he is.
Mm-hmm.
but he like had to get in with the mob so that he could like have a business. And so a lot of this is like how these people have tied themselves in together. They all feel like their lives are going to shit, and then just to make things even better and spicier, they all kill each other.
Right.
Which is great, actually, because they all had terrible lives.
Right. Well, and the only person in the entire movie who takes action to break the cycle is Irene. She's the only character in the movie to go, fuck this. Fuck this. I don't want to be a part of this.
And then I watched a video essay of somebody fucking blaming her for being the only person who actually sees a future. And also, notice that when I say she's the only person who sees a future, the reason she sees a future, by the way, is because she has a fucking child.
Yeah. Like,
she doesn't want her child to die.
So, I don't know.
A difference between her and everybody else.
All right. Yeah.
Do we have to stop complaining?
We don't have to stop complaining.
Are we in trouble?
I mean, nothing can stop us complaining. But
is my mommy about to have to come pick me up from school? Do we have to quit? What about your mommy?
I hope my mommy isn't coming to pick me up right now.
Yeah, that would be weird.
I am.
You're in trouble.
I am shirtless, in a pile of cocaine, and that would not be ideal.
Wow.
Anyway.
Holy shit, Tony Montana.
That was just a dumb joke.
No, it wasn't. Wait, are you really? Can you mail me some cocaine?
Podcasts are legally binding.
Podcasts are legally binding. You cannot mail cocaine on a podcast.
So, May.
What?
Gold, shit, or mid?
Gold. I think this movie's great. I think this is one of the few movies that genuinely represents basically the proclivity, right? In my mind, it is the only movie that really shows the effects of this shit.
Uh-huh.
And that's the thing that people have seemingly missed out on, right? So Baby Driver, while being a very eloquently made movie, is silently and kind of weirdly an endorsement for being that and viewing yourself as that.
Well,
right?
It's an endorsement of Ronald Reagan for whatever reason.
For whatever reason. Yeah, that movie loves Reagan and thinks he's great. But anyway, my point is, this movie is about how, like, what if the guy from Baby Driver lost, actually? Like, he lost out on everything because he had to be violent and reckless and made a bunch of passive, shitty, stupid decisions to help out friends that he didn't need to be helping out that were just literally fucking him.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets fucked. Definitely the guy who gets shotgun blasted got fucked. The entire mob gets fucked. Ron Perlman gets fucked. Irene doesn't get fucked because for whatever reason Ryan Gosling refuses to have sex with her. And also basically it's a big orgy. Everyone gets fucked.
And on that, I think it's gold. Okay. I agree with everything May said. I also love that it's I love the vaporwave aesthetic, and I think that this movie had a large hand in the resurgence of that aesthetic.
Well, okay, it's not a resurgence. The thing to mention about this. Listen, I know I don't need to do an explain, but I'm going to do the tiniest of explaining. So the vaporwave thing. Have you seen the movie Thief?
No, but I played the game.
Okay, not the same at all. The movie Thief is about a guy who used to be a piece of shit, but he's not anymore. He's not a piece of shit anymore. He doesn't wear he doesn't slick back his hair and eat sloppy steaks anymore. But he used to be a piece of shit. But then a bunch of other pieces of shit are like, dude, you got to come back and do another heist. Now, he's very, very good at heists. So he does one more heist. Then he realizes that the heist was actually people just trying to fuck him, or it goes like really madly wrong. It's been a little while since I've seen it. And then he does a big fuck it and kills everyone on the planet. Just kills everyone openly in the street with guns. It's wild. And he just starts shooting gang members in the street. It's fucking wild. But anyway, rest in peace, James Caan. He just died, which is super sucks. But no, it's one of his crowning achievements. You've got to see it. I think it's on Tubi, dude. Anyway, it's good shit. The point is, Drive is a visual reference entirely to the aesthetic of Thief. Thief is what people are actually talking about when they're talking about, that 80s noir feeling. So it is a thing.
I was just going to say, I should clarify. Drive drug it to 4chan, and the 4chan shotgun blasted it on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it just sort of shotgun blasted it all over the place, just completely cracked America's head in half. But my point is that Thief is where that comes from, and that even still is a reference to Live and Die in LA, I believe, which is also like this. So there are a lot of movies like this, but this one this one's very modern, very synthwave. The font is very specific. And see, these are all references to like Thief and To Live and Die in LA, these like very artful action movies that were made in America. And even one might call this film a postmodern reinterpretation of that aesthetic. However, you should probably watch the source material.
I should.
I know that was a long-winded analysis of the weird 80s aesthetic of this film.
No, it's fine. I actually genuinely love that aesthetic so much. I do intend to go watch Thief. On that note,
okay, do that.
We've got to end this podcast.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Have a great week.
That's how you're gonna do it? No, we got to do it with some fucking elegance.
Some
you know what
elegance.
I mean? We got to be like,
here,
listen,
wait.
I don't want.
Wait, watch this. All right, there we go.
Oh, did you just?
No, I took a bow.
Oh,
Yeah.
a bow. Okay, that's good. That's elegant. Okay, here's what I'm gonna say. Watch out, everybody. There's a giant monster coming straight for you. Oh my god, it's outside my window. I'm going to die now. I'm going to be crushed by it. Oh god. Ah!